This is Pod Populi, podcast for the people.
Hey, and welcome back to your Mental Highness. I am Dr. Janae Lomaski, better known as Dr. J. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I'm here for you with all of your mental health needs and cares and worries, with the hopes to lift you up, to feel less depressed, to feel less anxious, to feel less traumatized, to feel less angry, I hope, to feel less confused. All I know is I am here to address any of your mental health issues. And as I do in all of my episodes, I tell you, BYOC, bring your own crown, because you are my royal listeners and I am your mental highness. This is my show, and it's so great to have you come back. And I really hope that you guys are getting a lot out of the show. You know, mental health is in everything we do. Okay, whether it's our relationships, whether it's our work life, whether it's your being by yourself and alone. So it is the most important part of our system. Yes, physical as well, but did you know that mental also affects physical and vice versa? So you have to have your mental health check-ins, okay? Somehow with someone. If you need a professional, you can always look for me, your mental highness, Dr. Janae Lomaski. And today, like in all my shows, I promise you this is going to be a great show today. I know you're not supposed to say promise, but I really think you're going to like it. I chose to talk about what I'm going to talk about today because it is such a difficult concept, and yet it is so important. Maybe one of the most important concepts that I'm going to talk about in mental health, in your whole being. So I hope you're tuning in. I hope that you put on your crown. I hope you feel lifted up a bit today. I hope you feel not so alone. I hope you feel empowered. I hope you feel hopeful. And I'm going to do my best to make you feel all those things today. So without further ado, what am I getting into today? The topic of my show today is called radical acceptance. Now, anything radical, I say, I'm not in. I'm not in. I don't like radical this, radical that. Radical sounds crazy to me, and I don't like it. It's too intense. But when I learned about this radical acceptance, this is a whole different story. Let me dive in and let you know what radical acceptance is. Radical acceptance is really about strengthening your distress tolerance and find peace within what is. So let me explain a little further. Have you ever found yourself replaying, like in your mind, wishing something didn't happen, or holding on to the idea that it shouldn't have happened, or it shouldn't have happened this way? I know I have. So I'm almost positive that most of you have, if not all of you have. It's where radical acceptance kicks in. So it's not to fix what happened, but it's to free yourself from fighting with reality. I think we spend so much time fighting with reality, and this is what I get when people come into my office for sessions. It's the what ifs. It's the that shouldn't have been this way. It's the how do I change that, but it already happened. So I'm here to dive deep into one of the most liberating and most misunderstood dialectical behavior therapy, that's DBT for short, techniques or skills, if you will. And it's called radical acceptance. So it's the art of acknowledging life as it really is. It's accepting reality, not as you wish it to be, okay, but as it is. And I'm going to go on so you really get to understand this concept. And then I'm going to talk about helping you implement it into your daily life. So I always try to give you guys like some examples, and I'll share with you some of my own that I've done, because, you know, as I say, if there is something that has happened or something that is, needs to be used like a skill or technique. I have done it myself. Okay, so these things I talk about, I use it myself, and that's why I want to share it with you. Okay, so the powerful truth about radical acceptance is, again, that it has to do with strengthening your distress tolerance. We all walk around thinking like we can handle stuff, or we think we handled it well, when if we replayed it back, it would look like, oh my God, that person is absolutely lunatic and needs to be like hospitalized, okay? I'm not saying all the time, but sometimes, and you know what I mean, okay? Because I'm sure you've been there. I have been there, okay? I usually consider myself, I say, I went on the Exorcist episode because my head was spinning around like in The Exorcist, but it really wasn't. Anyway, so let me talk a little bit about what the radical acceptance is when you're applying it. It's about accepting fully and completely reality at that very moment. So at this very moment, it's accepting fully and completely the reality of whatever is. Now, you're accepting it with your mind, with your body, with your heart, fully accepting it, okay? It's not approval, and it's not resigning, not resignation. It's not saying like, I'm okay with this even. It's just saying, this is what's happening right now, and resisting it is only adding to suffering. Okay, so when you resist something, you're actually adding to suffering. So people try to like avoid pain all the time, whether it's emotional pain or physical pain. Okay, maybe some physical pains that you can avoid, like, you know, when I open up a cabinet in my kitchen, I know I go off on tangents, and I hit my head. Well, I should have like thought more about closing the cabinet. But there are certain things in pain that we cannot avoid. Okay, whether it's emotional, whether it's something that has happened that we thought about, and we think we can avoid it, but we can't, because that prolongs our suffering. When we actually accept it for what it is, exactly what it is, we actually feel better and we end the suffering. So pain is inevitable. Okay, I'm just going to tell you that right now. Pain is inevitable. You're going to go through it. I'm going to go through it. They're going to go through it. We all go through it. Okay. Suffering is what happens when we refuse to accept the pain. We don't realize it, but when we're suffering, it's because we're refusing to accept the pain. So when we resist reality, we intensify actually our distress. When we accept reality, we build tolerance for the distress. And that's where our resilience kicks in. Okay. So it is a topic that I wanted to share because I think just about every single one of my patients has come in and I have somehow been able to talk about radical acceptance. It's truly when you have two opposing thoughts and feelings and keep holding that space for them at the same time. So when you come into my session, I usually explain it, and if you can't see me, because this isn't on YouTube yet, but it will be, I hold out my fists, both hands, okay? And in your right fist, you're holding that pain, and that's something that is so disturbing and so upsetting, whether it's a thought or a feeling or a situation. At the same time, with your left hand, you hold up that fist, and you accept that reality, and you continue to heal and thrive and move forward. So it's holding those two together and moving forward in your life. It's actually freeing. So when the brain can't control something, it spins. Anxiety, rumination, self-blame. That's what's happening when there is something going on that you just can't accept, okay? Our brain just like spins it over and over and over. That's why so many people get so preoccupied with their thoughts, or you get like these obsessions in your mind and even compulsion in your behavior because of something that's distressing, right? So the radical acceptance When you can do that and hold that space for the discomfort and the pain and accept it and be able to heal and move forward, that actually teaches your nervous system that reality doesn't have to be resisted to be survived, okay? You actually move from, and I want you to pay attention because this is so important, you move from your emotional mind, which would say like, this is unbearable or I can't stand it, to your wise mind. Think about it, to your wise mind, which is, this hurts, but I can handle it. This hurts, but I can handle it. Now, which feels better? Obviously, it's the wise mind, right? Most of us go right to the emotion mind, okay? That's our knee-jerk reaction. But I'm going to teach you how to jump to your wise mind. So that right there, that radical acceptance is the emotional bridge that is between chaos and calm. And obviously you want calm. So that's how the distress tolerance grows stronger each time you practice this. So it really is a big deal, and it's so helpful. And I'm going to say it again. It's radical acceptance. I'm going to give you, actually, we're going to take a quick little break. And when I come back, I'm going to give you real life examples of radical acceptance and how you can implement them. So just be back in one quick moment. And we are back. I am your mental highness, you are my royal listeners, and I am talking today about helping you with radical acceptance, accepting reality of that moment or this moment as it is can set you free, can help you to strengthen your distress tolerance and be freer and feel better than ever before. So a real life example I'm going to give you is, let's say after a breakup, and this is like, let's say maybe these are your thoughts, or maybe these are, similar thoughts that you have. So let's say you're breaking up, and instead of saying it shouldn't have ended, or it shouldn't have ended that way, or I can't stand the way it ended, I want you to say it ended, it hurts, and I can accept that this chapter is closed. Big difference. Acceptance lets you actually grieve, not relive it. Because what happens when we keep thinking over and over about it, we're reliving it. And that's where the pain is actually becomes a constant. It stays. When you accept it, it is over. It does hurt. Now I can move on. How about when someone disappoints you? I want you to think about, have you had anyone disappoint you lately? I know I have. I have a long list, but that's okay because I use radical acceptance. So I can't change their behavior, but I can accept who they are and decide how I want to respond. It's a big difference versus fighting it, arguing it, or trying to change the reality. We can't change the reality. It is what it is. And I'm going to say it over and over until you understand the concept. It is what it is. How about when facing loss or illness or injustice? I can check for me. Loss, illness, injustice. Can you relate? If you can, radical acceptance in loss, illness, and injustice, it doesn't say that it's right. It says it is what it is. It says you stop fighting what's already true so your energy can move toward healing. So again, it's accepting what it is. We love to deny reality. It's so crazy. We do it like on a regular basis. And maybe you don't do it as much as I do, or maybe you do it even more. But even if you do it one time, it's painful. It's difficult. It keeps you stuck. It doesn't allow you to be free and move forward. So each of these examples of the acceptance, the radical acceptance, helps you build your emotional muscle. Okay. And emotional muscle is so important. Everyone focuses on physical muscles, right? Or we want to focus on physical muscles. Well, how often do you practice building your emotional muscle? Radical acceptance is an amazing way to practice strengthening your emotional muscle. And don't we all want a very strong emotional muscle? It's the ability to tolerate distress without self-destructing. Okay? It's very important. So I'm going to help you now make it practical. Okay? You can do this right now. Okay? I always say, if you have your journal with you, some people don't, but if you have a pen and paper, a pencil and paper, or do it in your phone, whatever you have available, I want you to grab that and I want you to take a nice, slow, grounding breath. Okay, you ready for it? Get ready. I want you now, step 1 is name the reality. So what situation are you fighting with now? What situation are you fighting? Pick something. Don't tell me nothing. Of course there's something. What are you fighting with now? I want you to name the reality. Say or write it. And you're going to say or write, this is what happened. Okay? So for example, I don't know, maybe somebody will say, I didn't get that job, or my relationship ended. Whatever it is, I want you, step 1 is to write it, name it, what happened. Step 2 is I want you to notice the resistance. So what thoughts or emotions are coming up when you reject the truth? Okay? What thoughts or emotions are coming up when you reject the truth? So for instance, maybe you're saying, it's not fair. Why me? I can't believe it. That's all resistance. That is not helping you move forward. That is not allowing you to no longer feel pain. That's actually maintaining the pain. So it's not fair. Why me? I can't believe it. I can't begin to tell you how many times I've said that, because it is my knee-jerk reaction, right? But I want you to respond differently. Okay, so step 3 is you're going to shift now to acceptance. So you're going to say to yourself these or one of these things to help you with a radical acceptance of what your reality is at this moment with this situation. Okay, so you're going to say, I don't like it, but this is what's true right now. Isn't that truth? I always call them truisms. These are truisms, okay? So it's not denying reality. It's radical accepting of the reality. And it's called radical acceptance because it's so painful that it's like sometimes just, it's radical to accept it. It's not easy. Another thing you can say, instead of I don't like it, but this is what's right now, true right now. I can't control what happened, but I can control what I do next. Yes, you can control what you do next. You couldn't control it. I've been saying lately, I don't know, one of my sayings that I use in therapy, even in my personal life, I keep saying, well, can't unring the bell. It just helps me realize, like, it is what it is, okay? We need to accept what it is. And again, that's not giving up. That's allowing yourself to be free. Fighting reality only keeps me stuck. I'm choosing peace over resistance. Think about that. Imagine that with everything we do. Just choose peace over resistance. I observe and I work with people so often that are fighting their reality. They just want to fight it, whether it's about a relationship, whether it's about their choices they make, whether it's about a job that they have. It is what it is. Instead of fighting it, accept it, and then you have clarity. Then you can actually move on. I know it, I'm saying it. I know it's not easy. I know these things are difficult, and I know that we're wired a certain way, right? We're all wired a certain way. That's why I share with you that I still make mistakes. I still have these things come up for me. But when I catch it, I use this skill, and it's so helpful. It is so much better. I've done this with people that just would not let go of certain things, would not let go of the way it turned out. And they would argue and argue and argue with themselves and even with me until they finally were exhausted or burned out and realized when you accept it, then you have the freedom. Okay? Now, acceptance, I want you to say this. This is like a mantra, okay? Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means freedom from the fight. Acceptance doesn't mean approval. It means freedom from the fight. Who wants to keep fighting? You know, it's exhausting and it keeps the pain. So I'm sure you would rather be free of that. So here's the bonus, okay? Every time you practice this radical acceptance, you're strengthening your distress tolerance muscles, you're building emotional endurance and flexibility in the face of life's hardest truths. In the face of your hardest truths, you're actually going to feel more free and more empowered when you can embrace radical acceptance. So how do we integrate radical acceptance into our daily lives? Well, that's a question I get from so many of my patients, how to do it. You know, I talk a lot in therapy and I see my patients feel empowered and they say, this is great, I've got it. And then towards the end of sessions, they're like, wait, I love all this and I hear you and it makes sense and I got it, but like how? Like, what do I do? And listen, I'd love to be with every one of you and like by your side wherever you are. I'd even love someone like that. So it would help me, but you have it in you to take action and to access these resources and implement them in your day-to-day life. And the way it comes more naturally and easier is if you practice. I tell people you have to make it a practice. Make a list of your resources, list of concepts like this one, radical acceptance. It's going to help you when you need it. Because when we're vulnerable and we feel like blindsided with stressors or with the news or just things we can't tolerate anymore, you know, I hear from so many people, they're taking this away from us or they're doing that or there's an argument here or there's a war there or this. Yes, that is the world that we live in, but that does not mean that you cannot strengthen your inner self and move forward in the light, okay? And feel lighter and feel better and enjoy and be happy and laugh and sing because you can do that too. Don't get wrapped up in all of this. That's why I'm giving you this resource, this skill to utilize so you don't stay stuck, okay? So you're going to start small. How you use radical acceptance, start small. So for me, it would be, let's see, traffic. Oh my gosh, traffic on the roads drive me crazy. And I don't let go of it, right? I don't let go of it. I'm looking to the person to the right of me, to the left of me, in front of me. I'm even watching the guy behind me saying, don't you dare hit me, because I was hit recently. Yes, sitting at a light, someone ran into me. And that's not the bad part. The bad part and the funny part at the same time, because I have radical acceptance for this, when I got out of the car and I said to the guy, what happened? He said, I hit you. My car hit your car. And I said, I know, what happened? He goes, oh, I wasn't watching. He had no problem telling me that he just wasn't watching. And I did not call the police. I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm going to come back to it. I did not call the police thinking I had faith in people, and we exchanged insurances and all this. And Fortunately, it was only like a $500 thing. I should say fortunately, but could have been worse, right? And when he said, of course I'm going to pay, and he gave me his phone number, guess what? Yep, you guessed it. He didn't pay me. He actually ghosted me. And I was so upset at myself that I trusted, but I didn't want to go through the whole thing with the police. And anyway, what does that tell you? Radical acceptance. Accept the situation for what is. I beat myself up and then I said, stop. I can't undo it, right? Accept what it is. Even though it's painful, it's $500. My neck was hurting. But when I accepted it, I stopped ruminating over it. Okay? It's in the past. It's taken care of. When I was fighting it, it stayed day after day, week after week. It made me feel worse. So think of how many things, if not one thing, maybe you have many things that you hold on to that you're trying to deny reality, push it away, the pain, and it never goes away. You're just building more of that. So radical acceptance is your new thing that you're going to use while you put on your crown. It's going to make you feel even more royal, okay, more powerful, that you can just radically accept something so painful or so upsetting, all right? So starting small with the small little irritations like traffic delays, long lines, each time that this comes up for you, you're going to say, this is what it is, and breathe. This is what it is, and breathe. I know it may sound silly, but I promise you it works. It really does. These small moments are truly your emotional gym. Think about it. Each rep, I do like 3 reps, right? 3 reps. So each rep builds your resilience. And it does. It makes you stronger. It makes you have that emotional muscle much stronger. And your distress tolerance, you can handle things that would stress you out so much before. They barely stress you out at all. Sometimes some things may not even stress you out. Maybe you'll actually respond by laughing and saying, oh, well, here we go. Let's move on. So another way is to help you with the radical acceptance. I want you to use your senses. I've said this on episodes before, and it's so true. We forget about our senses. We don't stop for a moment to ground ourselves. To ground yourself, use your senses. What can you see? Name it. What can you hear? Name it. What can you smell? Name it. What can you taste? Name it. What can you touch? Name it. Those are our senses, okay? Use them. Using your senses is so important because radical acceptance actually begins in the body, and then it messages the mind, okay? Radical acceptance begins in the body. Our body talks to us, okay? So can you feel right now, I don't know where you are listening to this podcast, but I don't know if you can just take a moment and notice what your body is doing. Are your shoulders tight? Is your jaw clenched? Are your feet all balled up? Are your hands and fists? What is your body doing? Because whatever your body is doing, your mind, okay, your brain is saying we are tight, tense, stressed, or we're relaxed, we're at ease. So I want you to think about that. This, of course, is mindfulness, right? We don't use it as much as we need to because it can help us a lot. So the next thing I want you to do is I want you, with this radical acceptance, I want you to pair it with compassion. So I have this self-loving kindness meditation that I do in my office. And I find, people don't really want to do it until I implement it and assist them with it. And then it's like, it changes your emotions so quickly to have self-compassion. So instead of saying to yourself, I should be over this, I should be done with it, it's okay. This is what I want you to say. It's okay that this still hurts. So rather than saying you should be over it, just say it's okay that this still hurts. That's giving yourself self-compassion. And you should be doing this in everything in your life. Self-compassion is so important. So when you have compassion, it turns that acceptance of this radical acceptance into healing, not avoidance. It actually the acceptance turns into healing. So when you want to know, how do I heal? How do I heal? Are you accepting? And some people that I speak with, they either ignore what I'm saying, or they deny it, or they just talk about something else. It's so interesting how we don't jump to acceptance. Accepting what is your way to heal. Okay? That is like, go on that train of acceptance, take it and get off at healing. Okay? It's not avoidance, it's healing. So I want you, if you would, to go a little further. Okay, so stay with me. All right, I want you to go a little further with this radical acceptance. I like saying it too, radically accept this and radically accept that. I want you to write an acceptance declaration. Okay, so if you have, again, on your phone, pen and paper, journal, whatever, I want you to write a single line that defines how you'll meet life as it comes to you. Okay, so I have one that I write down. I have many, by the way. Okay, so you can have more than one. I have many, depends on what comes up for me. So I'll read you mine, and then you can read me yours. Or you can tell me, you can reach out to me, or you can share it with a friend or a loved one. So I say, I accept what I cannot change, and I change what I can with grace, not war, with love, not anger. Okay? That's just a big one for me. So think about a single line that defines how you're going to meet life. Because it's true. It's how you're going to meet life as it comes to you. So now that you're doing your good work and you have this acceptance declaration, I really hope you use it because it really is helpful and it's powerful too. I want you to do another thing that is pretty intense, but I know you can handle it. If I have done it, you can do it, and it has to do with radical acceptance. So I am going to tell you about that, but I'm going to take a quick break, and when I come back, we're going to do something together that's quite intense, but I know you're going to succeed in it. I will be right back in one moment. And we are back with your mental highness, and you are my royal listeners. And today we are talking about radical acceptance. It's a concept, it's a skill, it's a theory, it's a strategy, it's a technique. It is powerful in how you are going to meet life, okay? The reality of it. Are you going to accept it and go on to healing, or are you going to deny it and stay in the pain and the struggle? Well, I hope you choose the former, not the latter. So I have a little exercise for you, and I get excited about these exercises. My crown gets all, I'm going to shine it up right now. And in this exercise, it's a reflection exercise. So what I want you to do is I want you to, when you get a moment, you can write this down if you can't do it right now. I usually do this when I'm in my bathroom. I use my bathroom for a lot of things. I don't know if you can relate, but I like using my bathroom. I don't know. I have peace in my bathroom and my car. Those are my two places where I am really at peace. So I don't know about you, but that's mine. So I want you to do something. It's called the acceptance mirror. Okay? I want you to find a quiet space, and I want you to look at yourself in the mirror and think of one thing in your life that you've been struggling to accept. Big or small, doesn't matter. Just choose one thing. You can write this down if you can't do it now, or maybe you're doing it now with me. I want you to think of one thing in life that you've been struggling to accept, big or small. And I have like many that I can think about that I have a difficult time, especially when it comes to injustices and wars and hurting innocent people and things of that nature. But I want you now, whatever it is, I want you to say out loud, this is where I am right now. I don't have to like it to live with it. I don't have to fight it to move forward. I choose peace over resistance. Again, the more we resist, the more we avoid, the more we deny, that's what keeps us stressed. That's what keeps us in pain. That's what keeps us struggling, okay? So after you say those things, I want you to place one hand on your chest and one hand on your stomach, and I want you to take 3 deep breaths. Come on, number 2. And number 3. And now, each breath, imagine releasing the weight of resistance. Imagine that. You're releasing the weight of resistance, letting it go. And you're inviting calm, clarity, and courage. My throat always gets dry when I do these podcasts. And I'll tell you, it's because I talk all day long as a psychologist. So pardon me for needing to have some water here. But let me tell you again. Each breath that you take, I want you to imagine releasing the weight of the resistance. And I want you to invite calm, clarity, and courage in. Because it's very courageous to radically accept something that's difficult and painful. And it gives you clarity, okay? And it's very calming when you accept and let it be as it is, okay? Letting that go, not rehashing it. And I want you to write down what you notice when you do this, physically, emotionally, and mentally, okay? This is how your body learns to trust the process of acceptance and to tolerate distress without shutting down. So I've done this many times, and it's difficult to train ourselves to do it. But when you do, you're going to notice that your body feels calmer. You feel more relief. You don't feel tension. You don't feel stress. Maybe you don't have a headache. Maybe you don't have a stomachache. It really helps you to feel more free. And it's empowering because you're in control. It's a choice you're making, right? So I have something that you can do to just challenge yourself. It's actually called the Radical Acceptance Challenge. I know it's not so creative, but it is the Radical Acceptance Challenge. And I want you to try it, okay? I will do this with you. You can tag me or, DM, give me a DM, like tell me what's going on with it. But I want you for the next 7 days, I want you to pick one moment each day that frustrates you or disappoints you. And I want you to pause and say, you guessed it, I radically accept this moment as it is. Okay? I radically accept this moment as it is. I want you to do that one time each day, something that upsets you or disappoints you, okay? And then you're going to ask yourself, what can I control? And then you're going to ask yourself, what can I let go? What can I let go of? By the end of the week, I'm telling you, I know you're going to feel lighter, okay? I know that lightness is distress tolerance in action. And that is the space between reaction and peace. you are going to feel lighter. When I do this for a whole week, and I've done this before, because I'm conscious and mindful of it, oh my gosh, I feel so good. Number one, I don't have one ache or pain in my body. I don't get any headaches. I don't get fatigued or tired. All that stuff I just mentioned, headaches, body aches, stomach aches, fatigue, tiredness, that's all because we don't practice radical acceptance. We get caught up in the difficulties and the pain that we don't want to accept. But like I said, it is what it is. And if you say it is literally what it is and move on, right? Hold that space together. Two opposing feelings, the pain and the discomfort, with moving forward and healing and accepting. Okay? So by the end of the week, you will feel lighter. I'm telling you, you will. There's no way you'll feel worse. But if you do, let me know. I really want to hear about your breakthroughs. And I really want you to understand that acceptance is not passive. It's literally a royal emotional strength. Okay. Speaking of royal, my royals, it's a royal emotional strength. And who doesn't want to feel stronger? Who doesn't want to feel royal? Who doesn't want to feel better? So radical acceptance is not about giving up. It's truly about growing up emotionally. Growing up emotionally. And that's what I believe we all need to do to help ourselves to flourish and thrive. So I want you to remember, as I'm coming closer to the end of the show, I want you to remember 2 C's, 2 T's, and 2 P's. So C's, T's, and P's. Say it again. C's, T's, and P's, okay? I want you to remember this. When you have radical acceptance, it is choosing clarity over chaos, truth over torment, and peace over punishment. Now that, to me, is really, really powerful. If you can do this, imagine that you'll be left with clarity, truth, and peace. Okay? So I hope you wrote that down. If not, listen again. Actually, I'm going to say it again. Radical acceptance will help you choose clarity over chaos, truth over torment, and peace over punishment. So every time you accept what is, you build that distress tolerance and your emotional armor, okay? And you get to crown yourself with calm, okay? These are things we all want, right? We all want to feel calm, at peace, strong. So what I want to tell you is that, we can't rewrite life, but you can rewrite how you meet it. How are you going to meet life? Maybe you've been meeting it not so good, but now you can meet it differently. And that, as I am your mental highness, is how you keep your crown in every storm. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, then I hope you like it, share it, follow me. There'll always be another episode of Your Mental Highness. Please follow me on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, YouTube. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you, so you can reach out to me on yourmentalhighness.com. You can also reach out to me on drjanaelomaski.com, my email, drjlomaski@gmail.com. Leave me a message on my website. I will get back to you. I will connect with you, and I look forward to seeing my royal listeners or listening to my royal listeners again for next time. I will be back as your mental highness. Thank you, and have a great rest of your day, week, and year.